This is DeerTech TV. Welcome to DeerTech TV. Taking your work home with you isn't something most people look forward to. But as hunters themselves, the people over at Thorogood Boots not only take pride in taking their work beyond 9-to-5 work days, but to them, it is an essential element to be able to make the perfect boots for every hunting scenario.
Hello, my name is Andy Place and I am a hunter and I work for Thorogood in the outdoor division. My family, we are hunters. My daughter, who's 17, and my son, who's 16, they started hunting with me when they were probably 4 to 5 years old. For sure, the holy grail of hunting in Wisconsin, the 9-day hunting season is always crossed off in our family. So we leave that time sacred so that we can hunt as much as possible, as much as Mother Nature will let us. And it really comes around full circle to what I do every day, right? We're in the field as much as we can, but it's not nearly enough. So the time that we get to spend in the field, we want it to be meaningful. We don't want it to be miserable. We don't want our feet hurting. We don't want to be cold. We want to be comfortable, and we want to have our senses, senses high, so that we can be have a good time and be as successful as we can. The individuals that are designing and building these boots, our new product, are hunters, and they design the product for the problems that need solutions while we're out in the field. That's really important to us because it's more than just drawing CAD drawings and making boots. The biggest problem that we have as hunters is that we get cold, right? We get cold and we go to the truck and then we're no longer hunting. So our PD department, 2 of the guys back there, the individual that is in charge of the PD department, they're all hunters. So when they're developing our product, they have the use in mind. They're visualizing what the issues are. They're visualizing what the solutions are. And that's how we come up with some of the best hunting boots on the market today. So when it comes to comfort and staying warm, it comes back to the product that my kid's dad deals with every single day, and that's our Infinity FD rubber boots. Absolutely has changed what my family can accomplish in the woods. My son, at age 14, was able to sit from sunup to sundown just about every day of the 9-day deer season. And that's because of these boots. Mother Nature sometimes has a little bit different idea for us, but I bet it's doubled our time in the stand over the last couple years. And I wear that as a bit of a badge of honor. It's the company that I work for. It's the boots that I deal with every single day has improved our experience in the outdoors, and I'm proud of that.
Up next, we're hearing straight from the source at Ozonics on some of the best tips and tricks for utilizing ozone in the deer woods. And then, producer David Gillane shares a special hunt with his dad, who hasn't been in the deer woods in 2 decades. Stay tuned. This segment of DeerTech TV is brought to you by Onyx Hunt. Know where you stand.
Hi, I'm Cole Tanner. Today we're going to talk through the most important things you need to remember when hunting with your Ozonics. With Ozonics, the number one rule, it's all about setup. With that said, there's really 2 scenarios we need to talk to: an open air environment and a closed air environment. For an open air environment, we're talking about hunting in a tree stand or hunting off the ground. And in a closed air environment, we're talking about hunting in a blind. So let's tackle the first one, hunting in an open air environment. With that said, there's really 3 rules that you need to abide by: the height of the unit, the direction, and the angle. So with the height of the unit, we always want to have that Ozonics 8 to 12 inches above your head from the position that you hunt from. So for me, I stand the majority of the time when I'm in a tree stand. If you're the person that sits, then you want to position that unit accordingly. Number two, it's all about the direction of the unit. We're not trying to treat you, we're trying to treat the odor coming off of you. The odor coming off of you is what's getting to that animal. So with that said, if this is the upwind side and this is the downwind side, I want to position that unit and point it in the downwind direction. And then number three, it's all about angle. Generally speaking, on a 0 to 12 mile an hour day, we want to be at about a 30-degree angle. If that wind gets above that 12, 15 and up, we want to start to take that unit more vertically straight down. In essence, on a windier day, we're trying to pour that ozone into your downwind side faster. Think about the example I always like to give is think about a water bottle. If I want to pour it out really slow, I just barely tip it. But if I want to pour it out really fast, I just tip it completely upside down. So now that we've worked through that open air environment, let's talk about a closed air environment, which would be in a blind. In a blind, the most important thing to remember is that we're not trying to treat the air in the blind. We're trying to treat the air leaving the blind. Again, the air leaving the blind is what's getting to the animal. So what we want to do is we want to try to create a draft within the blind. Let the air in and let the air out. By doing that, we bottleneck where your odor and that ozone is going to go outside of that blind. So what you want to do is you want to try to open a window on the upwind side to create that draft. Make sure to not silhouette yourself in the back of the blind, but then you want to position that Ozonics inside the blind above the window in that downwind direction so that when your odor is going out of the blind, that ozone is coming in direct contact with that. Again, a ground blind setup really in that closed air environment can be a slam dunk because like we said, we're bottlenecking where that scent goes out of the blind. The other important thing to remember is that we are constantly emitting odor from the minute we walk into the woods into the very last step at the end of the day. The best way to fight this battle of scent control as a hunter is to have your Ozonics running the entire time. I think we all know men and women that harness the power of their Ozonics in a tree stand or a ground blind, but they stuff their Ozonics in the bottom of their backpack on the way back out to the truck. If you know how an Ozonics can help you in the field and the advantage that it can give you, why wouldn't you be using that the entire time? From the minute you leave the truck until the minute you get back. I think we all know that, honestly, sometimes the way we get in and out of a tree stand can be just as important as where we hunt that day. We are constantly creating odor, and your Ozonics can be there every step of the way to help eliminate it. Whether it's walking into a tree stand, checking trail cams all summer, or on a spot and stalk hunt of a lifetime, give yourself every advantage that Ozonics provides. Thanks for watching our video today on the most important things you need to remember when hunting with your Ozonics. If you have any more questions, don't be afraid to jump on our website at ozonicshunting.com or feel free to give us a call at 979-285-2401. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and good luck out there.
Don't go away. Up next, a father and son share their first hunt together after trading in their lives in the city for new ones in the woods.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Do I look ready?
Yeah.
Nice.
When's the last time you hunted? Seriously hunted?
Seriously? Probably was 17, 18.
Years old, not years ago.
Old, yeah. And I'm 39 now.
Right.
Plus 20.
So to give you a quick little backstory about my family as it pertains to deer hunting. I grew up predominantly in Southern California in the city, and I'd never deer hunted in my life until I landed this job. My dad, on the other hand, grew up small town Wisconsin. He's your typical old timer, grab your 30-30, grab your recurve bow, go out and sit at the base of a tree until something walks by.
We need the bow because I don't catch them as fast as I used to.
So I bought a small acreage in Wisconsin that I've been hunting for the last few years. And the rest of my family actually kind of followed me and moved back to Wisconsin as well. I decided, look, after getting a few deer myself, I felt more than comfortable bringing my dad over, setting him in a spot where I knew there was going to be a pretty good chance of seeing a deer. Now, we weren't hunting for anything specific. Of course, my dad had his sights set on the biggest buck in town, which, of course, I'd be more than happy to have him shoot it had it walk by. But for the most part, we're just looking to fill the freezer. First, good animal, doe, buck, small buck, big buck, doesn't matter. Whatever he wanted to shoot, we were gonna shoot, and we were going to be happy.
So how different is this from when you used to hunt at 17?
I used to go out with a regular bow and arrow.
So you actually hunted with a recurve bow?
With a recurve bow.
Did you ever kill anything?
Nah, I never even got close with the arrow, so I gave up on it. But then I would have a blind. You know, we weren't into it back then. They didn't have blinds and everything, so we'd try to find a spot alongside a hill. You know, where you'd use the ground cover for your blind.
Now this was his first time with a crossbow, so I told him at most 40 yards, but shoot for 30 yards if we can. And I knew I put us in a position to where a 30-yard shot should not have been a problem. We sit for a couple hours until we see our first doe. Now she pops out of our woods to our west and goes straight to the cornfield in front of the blind. The edge of the cornfield is right at 45 yards. And then she actually goes up into the corn, and we think we lose her. But we didn't. Only a few seconds later, she pops out and she starts heading right towards the blind. She starts walking towards us, and I'm telling him, wait for a broadside shot. Wait for a broadside shot. So once the doe went up into the corn, we thought it was over. We thought we were gonna lose her, but we didn't. She actually just did a little U-turn, came right out, and headed straight towards the blind. I'm telling him, wait for a broadside shot. Wait for a broadside shot.
She's crashing, she's crashing.
I'm filming, expecting her to keep walking, and then all I hear is the crossbow go off. Now, not the shot that I wanted him to take, but at the end of the day, luck was on his side. That doe dipped perfectly into that arrow. It went in and came out on the other side without hitting any guts at all. Another doe came out. She stayed on the wood line about 65 yards, and she eventually went away. I think she knew something was up with the other doe lying not far from her. It got to the point to where it was going to be pretty dark, and we got out of the blind to go recover the doe, and she was only 30 yards up the corn road.
How's it feel killing a deer after 25 plus years?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Close to getting two there in 20 minutes.
Almost.
Almost right there.
There it is. There's your arrow.
Oh yeah, looks like my fingers are a little dirty there.
Looks like some good blood.
Yep. Now let's go find her.
Yeah, we know she didn't go far. After you.
Yeah, there's that blood there. No, that's a leaf. Yeah, I can't see that.
Found her?
Found her.
Oh, that's a big doe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, there's the shot. It's been about 30 some years since I bow hunted. We came out around a little after 3, sat in the stand, ground stand. They came out on the corner down there, corner of the cornfield. About 5 minutes or so, stuck her head in the corn, came back out, started walking along the edge, and we nailed her. I nailed her. And there was 2 other ones there, or 1 other one at that time. She kind of ran off to the side, was able to reload, but she came back out, almost had a shot, but then she stuck her head in the corn. It must have been moseying around, found this one and spooked, and they took off running. It looked like I was going to have enough 2 there within 20 minutes, so, but no horns, but it's okay. We got one. It was almost too easy. So I'm happy. It was fun. Got to do it with my son. It's the first time I've ever hunted with him. And it was great. It was awesome.
You know, it's one thing as a parent, which actually I haven't gotten to experience yet, being able to introduce your child to the sport of hunting. Now, what I got to do as a son was reintroduce my father to the sport of hunting, which I think he'd been missing a long time. It was a really special event for my dad and I promise you, it's not one that I'll ever forget, and I don't think he will either.
On with the life cycle. It's great.
Hey.
Nothing like a doe to bring the generations together. That's hunting at its best. Thanks for watching DeerTech TV. See you next week.